Okay, rolling. Hey, Cancer, this one's for you. This is Tarot Lumination. This is a report about your Jupiter and Scorpio big transit for the rest of 2017 and most of 2018. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of life-changing. So we're trying to squash an awful lot into a tiny amount here with Tarot Lumination, as you can see here. So let's start here. If you have to stop and start and pause the video as necessary to try and integrate the information, we're using themes and keywords. If you look at the planet Jupiter here, okay, pretend it's a source of fuel and it radiates a certain energy. These would be the well-known common themes: good fortune, the great benefic, healing, optimism, growth and expansion, travel, wisdom, higher learning, seeking higher consciousness, receiving higher consciousness, and bringing that down to the rest of us so that we understand. Growth, law, belief systems, truth. Now, you take that as fuel and you pump that through the Scorpio lens and filter, the nozzle, let's just say. So it's going to be colored with this kind of energy here. Common classic themes: power, intimacy, the joint resources, the deep soul merger between self and other to the point where it's completely integrated. Taking it further, the energy of transformation, birth and passing on, and ultimately transformational healing, the ultimate expression of Scorpio at its highest frequency, where Scorpio is the healer in that regard. Okay, so for you, Cancer, where is that happening? Okay, remember, watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Squish it all together. For you, if you're a Cancer, sun, moon, rising, then it's going to be happening over here in your fifth house. Basically, creativity, self-expression, fun, happiness, being happy, going outside. It's like being the excited, happy, fun child, taking crazy risks, doing things with joy and fun and abundance, and sharing that with everybody else utterly shamelessly, like you have the right to do it. It also includes romance and love and so on. And, you know, just because it's such an important part of the chart for a lot of people, want to define that. It's not the same as the seventh house, which is more to do with like full-on marriage, or the third house, which could be dating or something like that, or the eighth house, which is the energy of deep merger once you're inside a deeply committed relationship. This is much more about the romance and the dating phase before you formalize anything. So in some ways, it's a very touchy, sensitive part of the chart for a lot of people. So anyway, that's where it's happening. So with Jupiter in Scorpio, you're going to get huge changes happening there for your benefit. It's going to be very transformational simply because it's Scorpio energy, and there's no going back with that kind of energy, okay? And these are the themes. This is the energy that's going to be pumping into your fifth house, and this is the nozzle, which is going to, let's say, add the tone to the energy here. So you might get tremendous amount of healing by going through tremendous deep soul healing, okay, and transformation. It might be a very intense experience over the next year for you as things change for you in the love department, or how you creatively express yourself in terms of perhaps art, music, writing, performing, theater, dance, just outward expression and creativity. So now we're going to just do a little reading for you here, okay? So I know we're going to block this, but you can watch it and rewind later, okay? And we're going to keep it simple. These are the theme of each card, just like we do on the Sunday Night Live. And we're going to keep it short and sweet and simple, and then you can reinterpret however you want, using your own intelligence. Okay, all that Tarot Illumination is doing is telling a story as Tarot Illumination feels it, and then you can reinterpret how you like, what's best for you. Sun, moon, and rising together, turn it into one epic movie. Okay, because it is going to be epic, it's going to be life-changing, and it's going to be on a grand scale. Okay, and it hasn't happened like this for 12 years. So if you think back 12 years ago or 24 years ago, then you might have an idea by recalling what happened in your life then on a big scale when it came to creative expression and fun and romance and love. Okay? All right. Cards were already pre-shuffled in advance. We're just doing it again so that you're a witness, and we're going to cut. Now, that's going to be your reading. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. All right. Hang in, Cancer. So this would be your situation. This would be the opportunity. This would be your challenges. And this would be how you're going to handle it and make the best of all of this. And under here in a moment, we're going to look at the weather conditions, the prevailing conditions as you evolve through this period for the next year. And so that the conditions don't own you, you're simply going to acknowledge that they exist, and you're going to make the best of it. And you have Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, go Cancer. So you might be feeling like you struck it rich when it comes to, let's say, creativity, romance, love, partnership, being in love, loving someone, allowing someone to love you, like on a whole new scale that you might not have ever known before, but you might have sensed it exists out there. But this is the love that's real. This is the love that sticks. This is the love that's a legacy. This is the love of marriage, home, family, bringing it home where it kind of radiates out of you, where it's love is as love does, love in action. It's just like, honey, what can I do for you today? You seem to be a bit down in the dumps. Would you like a massage? Or like, honey, guess what? I got a raise. And I just had this awesome new upgrade in blah, blah, blah. And let's go out and have dinner tonight. In fact, bring the whole family. In fact, we're going to have a big shindig. We're going to call all the relatives and friends, and we're going to celebrate the amazing good fortune of Cancer here in your new world of expression, creative expression. Now, of course, it could be a very, let's say, intense period of your life. Because you're going to be starting to go deep into the depths here. The energy of intimacy is going to become very prominent, and you're going to go deep, deep into soul merger in terms of your relationship. You're going to be deep, deep in soul connection with another. Okay? Let's have a look. What's the situation? Wow. Okay, with the Page of Swords here, Cancer, it means you're going to have to be very vigilant on yourself and others as you progress through this journey, because you cannot allow any form of like lies, deception, betrayal, misunderstandings, let's say in other words, the actions have to match the words. Actions speak louder than words. In other words, for you, Cancer, it's going to be very important that you watch your words very carefully. What you say, who you say it to, when you say it, how you say it, where you say it, who you say it with, and so on. Because your words are going to have impact. They're going to have power. And if they're loaded up with so much power, you could understand it could backfire on you. You have to be extremely careful. You might have all the best of intentions in your communications through this particular aspect and part of your life and through this particular journey, but it does mean you're going to have to be very truthful with yourself, very honest with yourself, and look for that in others and ask for that in others. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, as you move through this. So yeah, let's have a look. What's the opportunity here? Okay, it's a really, really good chance to expand your wealth, expand your, let's say, skills, your talents, your gifts in this particular area of life. Like you might be an artisan already, perhaps a very gifted artisan, but this time it's going to, let's say, actually happen for you where it could turn into like a real, like say, job in a way that you've never had before. Maybe you can become self-employed where you're the one who calls the shots and you don't put up with any BS from anybody else because it's your game, it's your business, and you are being fully supported. You are being, let's say, shown the way by physical evidence as you evolve through this process, this journey. You're going to see very, very clear evidence on a day by day, weekly, monthly basis of how your natural talents, gifts, and abundance are going to start to pay off for you. But it does mean that you have to be very vigilant and you have to work hard, which is, that's okay for you, Cancer. You can handle that. And turn it into a daily practice where you don't forget about your home and friends and family and everything, but it's almost like you could create a home business, a family business from home that endures for the long term and just grows better and better and better and better over time. So that's really kind of nice for you, Cancer. It does mean having to stick at it, and maybe you can't go out and party all the time to celebrate your like inevitable good fortune here. But for now, maybe you can enjoy that and appreciate that later on in the season as this energy starts to unfold. Now, like the way this could happen is that, by speaking words of truth, by honoring the truth, by seeking out the truth and filtering away anything and everything that is not true, you're actually doing yourself a favor and the rest of the world and your romantic relationships a favor and your creative self-expressions. In other words, how your spoken word, your written words, your attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs are communicated in such a way that has to be really, really precise and very guarded so that you don't accidentally cut yourself or hurt yourself or allow that to happen to you. So you have to be very sharp, very aware, very, very vigilant during this period, okay? Because you could be susceptible to, let's say, mistruth from others, or you could propagate mistruth to others if you're not careful, because you could get so carried away by the opportunities of what can happen to you with all of this going on, this beautiful Ten of Pentacles here that's right out there for you for the taking. Now, what is the challenge here for you going through this transit for the whole year? Okay, the challenge could be understanding that pretty much everything that you've known up till now is, let's say, falling apart or going by the wayside. But from the Tarot Lumination perspective, this is a very good thing. This feels like an ultimate card of healing, even though it looks absolutely terrifying, because maybe there are a lot of things in your life, especially perhaps your love life or your creative world, that are just no longer serving you, that are just no longer relevant, and all they are is just getting in the way. And if you try to maintain what you think of as the status quo, it's just going to be miserable. So the challenge for you is to allow the Tower energy to manifest, to unfold. Massive, massive, let's just go straight to here. Let's call it creative destruction. In other words, everything has to be demolished and crushed and pulverized in a very scorpionic way. Scorpio is ruthless in that manner, in such a way that you're taking your whole life down to the foundations and literally starting absolutely from scratch again, building brand new foundations that have a much more satisfying long-term legacy value to yourself and to your others around you, especially in this world here of, let's say, creative expression and risk and love, okay? Love relationships. So, yeah, that's kind of a big challenge to handle it because it's so tumultuous. It's so potentially such a huge change for you, Cancer. It can just, how you're very close to home and family. and suddenly having your whole world, not suddenly, but incrementally, step by step. This might not be one massive earthquake. This could be a whole series of earthquakes in your life, in your love life, for example, your business life, your work life, that lead to an ultimate completely starting from scratch, ground zero again, in a whole new world, in a whole new place, a whole new environment that's really, really good for you. It's just that going through the deep soul merger, the deep soul healing, and all the profound transformation that's going to happen there could feel very frightening at points, and but also very satisfying. And it's happening simultaneously. That's a lot to handle for anybody, Cancer, but I'm sure you can handle it. It's all about, let's just call it transformational healing. That's what I see here. So, of course, the challenge is understanding it and handling it, accepting it rather than trying to fight it. So how are you going to do that? Okay, well, with the Eight of Swords here, it's about accepting that you might have actually been fooling yourself for a long time. You might have been the cause of your own demise for a long time without knowing it, and you might have passed on the blame to others. Blamed yourself, blamed others, blamed circumstances, blame your family, your school, your teachers, your upbringing, whatever it is, other people who had it out to get you, and so on. Whereas it's really important to, some people would say, just take the blinders off and understand that this is your energy, okay? You own this, okay? This isn't anybody else. This is up to you to deal with it and handle it. And you might not want to handle it, but so long as you are willing to accept that you might have been, you could even have been living under the energy of betrayal and deception and subconscious patterns that were like pumped into you from childhood that are really not appropriate to you or for you, that are not healthy for you, subconscious, what do they call it, conditioning from youth. And sure, yeah, it would be so convenient to blame everyone and anyone else, but it's not. It's up to you to deal with it and handle it and stop avoiding it, because there's no way out of it. It's going to happen anyway, so you might as well face it, and that will allow you to heal and move on and transform and basically kind of have a brand new life when it comes to love and relationship and your creative self-expression, especially in ways that feel really, really good for you and for the significant other, okay? The loved one, the one that you love, all right? You can do it, Cancer. You can handle it. Just own it. Don't worry. Take care. All the best. You can do it. Bye-bye, Cancer.